The Piano Key Teeth Man. It was a dark and quiet night. The moon was hiding behind the clouds, casting an eerie shadow over the empty streets. A young woman was walking home from work. She had a long day and was tired, but the thought of getting home and relaxing kept her going. As she was walking down the street, she noticed a man walking towards her from the opposite direction. He was tall and skinny, with a long face and a disturbing smile. As he got closer, she noticed something peculiar about him. His teeth looked like piano keys, white, shiny, and unnaturally long. She couldn't help but feel unnerved by the sight. She thought about crossing the street to avoid passing him, but before she could make a decision, the man abruptly stopped in his tracks and was now standing in place, still smiling and watching her. She also stopped in place, and in an attempt to communicate with the man and break the tension of this strange situation, she managed to softly say, "Hello." Suddenly, with a frantic burst of motion, the man placed his fingertips on his teeth and began playing them like piano keys. Frightened, the young woman ran across the street to the other sidewalk and continued running toward her destination from there, continually looking back at the man as she grew further and further away from him. Eventually, she made it to the front steps of her apartment building, and the frantic piano music had finally faded entirely, and there was no trace of the man anywhere in sight. But suddenly, as she approached the steps leading up to her apartment, she heard a crooked and raspy voice behind her.
"Hello, beautiful."
She slowly turned her head to look, too frightened to move the rest of her body, and standing not 2 feet from her was the smiling piano key teeth man. Before she could say anything, the man grabbed her by the arm and pulled her towards him. She tried to scream, but the man put his hand over her mouth.
"Don't scream,"
the man whispered.
"I just want to play you a song with my piano key teeth."
Her heart started racing as the man opened his mouth, revealing his elongated piano key teeth once again. With a sudden jolt of adrenaline, the young woman tried to fight him off, but he was simply too strong, unnaturally strong. He pinned her to the ground and started playing a haunting melody on his teeth, sitting on top of her to ensure she remained in place. The young woman's body went numb with fear as the man continued playing. She begged him to stop, but he just kept going. Finally, he stopped and looked down at her with that same eerie smile.
"Thank you for listening to my beautiful music,"
he said as he got up and walked away, disappearing into the darkness. She lay there, trembling with fear, and although physically uninjured, emotionally traumatized. The memory of the man with piano key teeth haunted her for the rest of her life.